How are you now? It is the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast, brought to you by Wakey Wakey and Gant now apparently as well, which is going to
Gant.
be. My name is James Whelan, brand ambassador for the Gant Group, and also managing director for Barclay Pierce Capital's asset management team. And I am joined by Heath Moss of HLM Investments. It is the 22nd of the 11th, 2024. Heath, how are you now?
Very well, mate. I'm still representing Gazman.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
still.
yeah. I lost the Gasman contract.
I lost it. Oh, I've still. They re-signed me, so got a
Good for
Gazman
you.
polo going.
Good for you. My
Actually,
my loss my loss is my loss is their gain, mate. It's
most of
whenever it
my
is.
most of my wardrobe is Gazman. I just you find a shop, you find what you like and what fits, and you stick with it. I think. So yeah,
It's,
yeah, pretty plain and simple. So yeah,
thank you,
what's been going on? What's cracking?
mate. It's work's been absolutely swamped. We've
Yep,
completed a raise for a pre-IPO company.
yep.
Constant Sign also that
Oh,
we're
yep,
raising
yep,
raising for
yep.
that, which is great. Big magnetite holding out at Norseman in Western Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple of guys going out there now. Actually, just going out
Fantastic.
kicking the thing. Getting it's funny when you've got sort of overseas visitors and that's it, and they need to go out and see it and see the drill and take photos and actually that they're there. And there's a lot to be said for actual the tangibility of things and actually seeing what's going on, which is great. So
Yep.
and every time you look at this thing, you look at this holding, it's like that's a lot of iron ore, mate. That's what that is. So look, that comes on at London. That'll be on in London soon. So we're getting everything all set for that, which is great. That'll be good.
Fantastic.
Otherwise, H2X is also on as well. It's all it's just deals and more clients and more businesses coming on. H2X is on now, which is good, and that'll be listing first quarter of next year in London too.
Hmm.
That's out and about, and just other little bits and pieces. Maybe we had a research note out as well for a company called CML, but I'll get to that at the end. How's your week been, mate? I think my family's fine too. There you go. Thank you for
Oh, good.
asking.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
good.
think
Yeah.
I recognise them if I see them.
It's always important.
I'm gonna
Um,
get a wakey, man. I'm falling asleep here.
I've
I'm flying in.
already got mine. I pre-wakey wakey.
That's the
Um,
last one in that canister too. Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
yeah, good, good. Busy like you. A bit of client work, but I got my one of my annual audits coming up early December, so I've got to prepare for that. Get some files out to our licensee because obviously we get audited. We actually get audited twice now every year.
What?
One's
Really?
just an online one where we provide them some files online and they look at them and say, yep, all good. And the other ones they actually come out to us, come out to offices and have a look and make sure everything's running all right. Have a look at some more files and that. So yeah, that's always a little bit stressful. I always get stressed around that sort of gear. Don't know why. I'm always
Hmm.
good, but yeah. But apart from that, okay, where are you standing with Christmas at the moment, mate? Because we've got our Christmas tree up, or one of the
I'm
Christmas
favourable.
trees
What are
up.
you talking about? I'm in
Well,
favour of Christmas generally speaking. Why?
have you got your Christmas tree up? Have you got
We're
that
not
up
doing.
yet?
We put the office tree up, and then the some of the people here seem to think that it looks a bit. It was looking a bit scruffy
Yep.
out of the box, and I think that they've gone to refresh it with a fresh tree. So the intention was to put it up,
Yep.
and we just went, that's not our best, and sort of that's the policy that we've got here. If it's not your best, don't put it out there, right? So, um, yeah, so I think that we've got to go back to the shops and pick up another box of Christmas tree. So, but it's generally speaking, there's tinsel up where our office here. We've actually done that big thing that a company does when you set your hours. This is where,
Yep.
just that's a big move for a company. Everyone make sure that you get when your leave dates are going to be, make sure that we've got coverage across the desk, make sure that we've
Yep.
got coverage. Not that there's a whole, the thing is, we're going to be pumped until the day.
Yep.
So there's not a lot of backing down until then. After that, bit of a chance to relax. Then obviously, we've got all that stuff that's coming into the first quarter next year.
Oh,
But Christmas, so the tree's up. Is your tree up?
yeah. Well, actually, we've got two trees. We've got the kids' tree, which is a smaller one that they decorate and do what they want
Oh,
with, and we've got the sort of the family one, which is the big 6 foot, 7 foot one that we sort of it's a little bit more organized and planned from
yeah,
an adult
yeah.
perspective. But I only ask because you talk to people outside of Adelaide, and a lot of people are staunch and like it doesn't can't go up until December. Whereas in Adelaide, obviously you got the Christmas pageant early November, and from that day forward, it's
What
all
is wrong
go.
with that state? You've got the Christmas pageant early November
Yeah, yeah.
because
It
you got to
used
have the
to.
school kids because you got to have the school kids and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I don't think no, it's not. What do you call it? It's not school holidays. It's generally it used to be the second Saturday of November, and it's been the first. I think Saturday for the last couple of years. I don't know why it's earlier,
A
but
strange backward state, if you ask me. It's in there. It's one of
hey,
the
just
flyover
Christmas.
states. The flyover
Christmas starts early.
states.
Flyover state.
The flyover state on the way from Sydney to Perth, which is where I wish I was myself, with the first test starting this afternoon. You absolute beauty.
Oh God.
Summer begins. Here, cheers. I'm on the
Oh,
original flavour.
that period between footy season finishing and the Test series starting, cricket, it should be illegal. It's hell.
This
I mean,
absolute waste of time going through the 2020s and the one days. I'm just like, man,
yeah,
just get to the goodies. Hey, like it's just warm ups,
exactly,
just brilliant.
exactly. We
Outstanding,
we
mate. Pretty well done.
we haven't beaten India here for well over 10 years, so
Cool.
it's we're due. They've got a few injuries too, so we've got it's about our best chance, I suppose, to beat India over here. So and then we got to back it up next year with the Ashes coming back.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, but love my Test cricket. I could sit there all day if allowed and able to watch it, but kids kids don't allow that. But that's
right.
it.
That's right. Now back on Christmas. Okay. So Christmas is coming. We're all good wrapping up. Markets. Markets sort of. It seems like it's tearing itself apart just quietly. Every time I wake up and I have a look, and I've got Bloomberg on one side of the screen and CNBC on the other screen until football, unless the NFL's on, and then I have the ESPN on for that particular part. But generally speaking, it's like I see a 20% decline on one screen, and then I see a 10% increase on the other screen for different stocks. It's like this reporting is just torn itself apart in two different directions. Target smashed.
Oh yeah, down 15-20% on really
do you want
soft
to roll into it, mate? Let's
might as well get into it.
Yeah,
where are we?
For us.
Let's start. There we go. SPX straight up S&P 500. So yeah, look, we're almost at all-time highs. I mean, 6,000 points, just over 6,000 points was the high. We're at 5,950. So less than 2% away from an all-time high on the US, that is. And I dare say the XJO is very, very similar. Actually, we might be tapping new highs today. So yeah, it's. I was just on Ausbiz and we are just chatting about this, and it's very delicately poised. I think the markets, a lot of people sitting on their hands. We've had Trump elected, bit of a Trump rally that's faded. Nvidia earnings out last night, this morning. Sorry. Well, actually, when was that? I can't remember. Days just all meld together. But they were out, and they were sort of the market was a bit lukewarm on them, even though they're phenomenal numbers. I think the market is just waiting for more information because I think it's back to rates and yields now. I think the market is like, okay, if we get a strong set of US jobs numbers coming up is it next week? I think it might be next week. Then I don't think we get a cut in December.
Non-farm. What's non-farm payroll?
Yeah. I think that might be next week.
Last Friday. Last Friday of the month. Yeah, something like that. Whenever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we get a strong number there, because obviously we had the weak number of October because of hurricanes and strikes and stuff like that. We got a bit of noise there. But if we get a strong number there, then the way Powell and Co have been talking, we probably don't get a December cut, which means I think equities will take negatively and yields will move back up on the back of it.
That has been the recurring theme that's on there, and everything that I've heard has been we're predicting. The Goldman Sachs one is just like, we're predicting the cut in December, but there's a long way and a lot of data between here and there.
Yeah, and I'm the same opinion.
It's going to get in the way. I can't argue with that. That's fine. It's all right, and they're being led by the data, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'm the same.
I still think
same opinion. They'll cut in December, and then I think they'll cut maybe once a quarter next year. There'll be a little bit of break. They'll wait until end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter to cut again. Because data in the US is still quite solid and strong in some areas. Although, like you said with Target, maybe we're starting to see the consumer weaken a little bit. Jobs, we can't really get a handle on jobs at the moment because of that hurricane strike stuff. But maybe the consumer is weakening a little bit. Although broad retail sales, the retail sales for last month came in stronger than expected, and the month before we think was upgraded. So maybe it's a Target specific thing because But actually, what we'll get a really good sign of is in early December we'll get all the data for Black Friday and Cyber Monday stuff. So we'll see how that compares to last year. I mean, if it's going on the way we're spending, it should be a really strong one because
Oh my God,
we've
sorry,
done
bro.
about 90% of the kids' Christmas shopping already,
Oh,
just from Black Friday sales. It's just been phenomenal, excellent.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where we're waiting. The market is delicately poised, and I think by the time next time you and I sit down again in 2 weeks, we'll have a better indication of where we're going. Not that I don't think we're in any concern because I think 25, 26 is still going to be very strong for the US,
Mhm.
and Australia will eventually pick up. But yeah, I think it's tough to pick at the moment, and you're going to be quite selective because even in Australia, we're seeing stocks like Mineral Resources, WiseTech, Lavisa. Some of these favorites have been the favorites over the last 12 months or so. Get absolutely smashed on the
Yeah.
back of a bit of softer earnings data. So if you don't meet market expectations, you're still gonna get absolutely smashed, especially if you're trading on high multiples. So
Mhm.
yeah, but anyway, we've got the SP 500 that's up. What are we? We up about 1.3% for the week. Nasdaq up about 1.7. That's again knocking on the door of new highs. Very similar charts here. Nothing really to chat about there. We had, like I said, we had Nvidia come out with earnings last yesterday morning. Sorry, and what do we saw? We saw basically a beat on all lines, but you can see that candle there. Huge
Mm.
range it traded in last night and this morning. I
Yeah.
think it went as low
Yeah.
as 140, highs 152, ended up 0.5% or so. The problem with Nvidia now is they're so good because I mean their sales beat by 2 billion, their profit beat by 10% expectations. How's this for some stats? I'll put some stats in front of you for these guys, right? Their revenue, where is it? Revenue up 94% year on year. On quarter is up 17%. Data center revenue up 112%.
Mm.
Earnings per share up 111% on year, up around 17% on quarter. Gross margin
These
is
are insane, insane
75.
numbers. What?
I went
75%?
back.
Did you say 75% increase in gross margins? What is that?
75% gross margins. 75% is their gross margin.
Oh, that
So
is their gross margin.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
it's freaking massive. And I went back and had a look. In Q3 of 2022, their revenue was 7 billion versus 35 billion today. So in 2 years, their revenue's gone up fivefold. It's just phenomenal the amount of growth. And they had their talk about Blackwell chips because there was some concern over overheating with their Blackwell chips. That's been said. No, that's all good. And then there's concerns about scaling. There's people are worried that um, companies are getting to a point at the moment where their training and large language models are getting to the point they don't need to scale them as much anymore because they're learning so much, etc. But they're saying they're seeing the complete opposite. The companies are still having to scale rapidly, not only to train but inference. And inference is the next step. And inference is where we start asking AI questions. And it starts, giving those back to us. So, for instance, something like XAI, which is Grok in Twitter or X, they're looking to raise 6 billion at a 50 billion valuation. So think about that. Musk bought Twitter for 44 billion, and the AI in it is valued at 50. Um,
Yeah, okay, that's pretty good.
they're looking to raise 6 billion to buy another 100,000 GPUs to build a supercomputer, similar to what Tesla has just done this year.
Mm.
That came on this year. So it's things like that, and we're only talking about a small fraction of the market. We're only talking basically the US companies getting access to this stuff. So I still think there's a long, long, long way to go. And any correction in the video, I think that's where you got to play. I mean, there's been multiple commentators come out and say we've got $1 trillion to spend in capex on this stuff over the next couple of years. We've got, and I've heard another one say 9 trillion up until 2050 to spend on capex on this stuff. So I think we're just at the beginning of it. And Nvidia itself, I don't think is, at extreme valuations around 35 times forward earnings. I wouldn't say that is extreme by any. It's high, but it's not extreme if you consider its growth compared to Microsoft, Apple, and all those guys. So
Yep.
yeah, I think we've got a long way to go. So but yeah, it's looking a little bit toppy there. If it can break out from these levels, it's going much higher around this 150 level. If it can go higher than that, then I think Nvidia is going much higher. So yeah, that's obviously the big news of the week.
Yep. Yep.
Yields, I'll quickly cover yields. 10-year basically did nothing, down 2 bips. You can see the sharp increase there since the Fed cut back down here around 3.6. 2 years were up about 5 basis points. That gap between the twos and the tens is closing a little bit. So that bear steepening is getting a little bit better there. Oil up a little bit this week, although still trending down. It's around $70, up around 4% this week on the back of the Ukraine and Russia escalation, which I think will turn into a big nothing burger again. And I think Trump will have some sort of resolution by the end of next year. I think, yeah.
Hey, Pentagon loses money. Next thing you know, and basically 10 minutes after Biden's given the okay to send long range weapons, long range missiles into Russia.
Yeah,
Russia's now sort of updated its nuclear doctrine, mate. It's Pentagon fails an audit is a big red flag that there's going to be some sort of crazy conspiracy stuff that's about to hit the markets, mate. Long gold. What do we got? Show us gold.
Gold. They've been failing audits for bloody 30 years. I doesn't bother me. Where we go?
Oh, how about that? Where did I say long gold on the chat?
Show
me the candle. Show me the candle, hey.
Probably here, around here.
It was about there, yeah.
Here.
It was at the short-term bottom.
Might have a bit of a pocket pivot there, actually. A bit of a pocket pivot.
That is a big move, mate.
It is. And that's obviously on the back of this Ukraine stuff. And yields in the US dollar have settled down. Like, obviously, we had the Trump trade. Trump got in. But yields before Trump got in had obviously been rising quite steadily. And gold finally gave up some of that momentum on the back of a stronger yields in dollar. And came back, I think it was about 7-8%, that is there, down from about 2,800 to 2,550, 560. Has bounced on the back of that. If yields go again, I think golds get sold off again. If they steady or they go down, then gold continues its merry way. But I think next year we see gold equities outperform gold. I think because margins now with gold equities are stabilizing or increasing. Costs have stopped increasing because all this time gold's been rising. We've had cost of mining for gold companies going up as well, almost in tandem. So that's sort of why they've underperformed. But I think they're stopping now. They're peaking and they're actually turning back down, which obviously margins increase, free cash flows increase. And what we'll actually see is those with hedge books at lower levels will start rolling them over to higher levels. And that's when analysts and revaluations, re-ratings will come. And you'll start to see, I think, the gold equities outperform next year, or actually outperform gold. So have a look at those big guys like Newmont and New Star and Northern Star, and Evolution and stuff like that. Keep your eye on those guys because I think the gold producers will have a very good 2025 as long as gold doesn't crash. Sure. Yeah.
What's that gold? There's a gold ETF. That is just the gold companies.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember.
Is it GDX? GDX is the Vanguard gold miners.
Gold company. I'd rather we pick is that a Global X one?
No, that's the VanEck US listed GDX.
There's a Global X one that's locally listed. I can't remember.
No, that's the gold bullion. GOLD.
No. There's a Global X. The Global X one. It's I think it's MNRS or something like that. Anyway, whatever it is.
Okay.
Because I prefer my preferences for Global X. They're in the building. Oh, funny story. So we had the because we're only doing this show fortnightly, and I'm thinking of going to a whole different concept for a monthly show. I'll tell you about that later. Because we're doing this fortnightly, so I didn't get a chance to update you on how our artificial intelligence seminar went last week.
Oh yeah, I saw the things on LinkedIn.
Max.
Yep.
Yeah, Max K, good mate of mine, head of data analytics and artificial intelligence at Google for Australia, New Zealand. Just spoke closed room, no videos, no recordings, no Zoom, no anything, and spoke amazingly well. Fund managers and institutional clients, so sort of just for our institutional client base. So fund managers, portfolio managers, analysts, whatever you want to say. In that, I have never seen this. This is a group who will not give you the time of day if you start to not add value. They didn't check their phones. No one at the table. There's about 20 people in the room. No one checked their phone for an hour. No one looked at their phone for an hour. They were hooked on every single bit of data and every single thing that he was saying. It was incredible. It went amazingly well. Thank you to Global X for hosting us as well last week. So it's good. And we had just the feedback was incredible. So we're going to do more of those sorts of seminars. But I can't repeat what he's got because the whole idea was just like, don't quote me. I'm just going to tell you exactly what the score is. It was just incredible. Yeah,
Well,
so
I've
lucky, so lucky.
brought up on screen the Global X AI
Thank you.
ETF, which is
Yes.
GXAI. GXAI is the code, and you can
Thank
see
you.
obviously that's probably you can mirror Nvidia's chart on that.
Yep.
But it has only been listed since May, so it hasn't been listed here in Australia long. I think the US one's been listed longer, but
Okay.
yeah, that's done very well from about 950 to what, 1150, $12.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm a big fan of that in the downstream, the data centers, nuclear reactors, everything that's going on. Speaking of nuclear reactors, give up your screen because I'm going to take it over.
Okay, no
Um,
worries. I'll stop the share.
Speaking of nuclear reactors, what do you need? What do you need to power a nuclear reactor, Heath, my good friend?
Oh, yellow cake. Lots of yellow cake.
You need the uraniums, right? I'll give you the uraniums.
The
Eh?
uraniums, yep.
Eh? 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 Where is it? Here we go. There. That's the one. Connected minerals, speculative math, and optimistic rocks.
Fantastic.
So this is CML. I've looked at this stock. I hold it. I participated in the RTO. They've just come back onto the market. So
Yep.
the charts look wildly dumb because it's sort of
Yep.
on and then it was off and then it's on and it's off. Anyway, it's come back on. Connected is. I'm just trying to think what's connected come in as. Anyway, whatever it is. So it's back on the market, which is good. Cashed out was done by 708 investments. They're a really good
As they
operation.
always are. Yep.
One of the last
Yep.
of the Mohicans of actually good, genuine capital raise guys. So that's good on them, and I'm sure they'll love the plug too. Mate, it's back in November 18. Company announced stellar maiden sampling results. It's the grades of uranium are amazing, and because it's next to, I'm just trying to see Bannerman. Let's see if we can find it here. There's the full desk note that's in here. If anyone wants it, send me a note and I'll get after it. I'll get the desk note out to you that's there. Because it's next to Bannerman, I think that you'll find that the seam or whatever it is that they've got going on extends from Bannerman into this one. So Bannerman
Mm-hmm.
Resources is an incredible holding. This is that sort of a continuation of that, apparently.
Yep.
Possibly.
Yep.
So yeah, CML is my tip of the week. I'm happy to be adding here for that one. People do want me to just do more of this sorts of things. I'm happy to be adding to CML. If you want to know more, send me a note on the Twitters or the LinkedIn's or whatever it is that people contact people on to get that done. Not on Instagram because that's where I'm all Gant. I'm 100% Gant on my Instagram. Okay,
that's what your sponsorship was.
The joke is legitimately getting out of hand now. Too. This whole Gant brand ambassadorship.
So they haven't put down any drills yet. This is just soil sampling and stuff like that at this stage, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously
so
the raise
extended exploration program is set to conclude by mid-December, with assay results to be reported as they become available, ensuring investors stay informed of ongoing progress.
So
that's
obviously
how that goes.
Staying on uranium, because this will be important for CML. We obviously had Russia come in last Friday night and ban the exports of enriched uranium to the USA, which is massive. Now, because obviously enriched uranium is what they use to turn into fuel rods to power nuclear reactors, and 20% of the USA's enriched uranium comes from Russia, and 40% of the world's enriched uranium comes from Russia. So basically, the way this works is you get your U3O8 from the mine, that gets sent to conversion, and Russia does 20% conversion as well. So that stuff's not coming through anymore as well. So that gets sent to conversion, which is like a gassy stuff, and then that gas stuff gets turned into the stuff that the enriched uranium from Russia. So basically, the deal with Russia is they would send you the enriched uranium. You need to send them conversion back. It was like a trade off. So they always had supply there to match what you were taking from them. But if the USA has to actually do more itself or go to other places like I think it's Aurora, I think also in France or something that do this enriched uranium, they require the converted stuff first before they send the enriched stuff to you back. So there could be a bit of a squeeze on spot here because US companies may have to get more pounds and more normal uranium so they can then convert it and send it off because they no longer have that lag between getting the enriched uranium and having to send the converted stuff back, if you understand what I'm saying. So there may be a bit of a pop in the spot price over the next few months while this plays out, that because they've got to send this stuff first now instead of sending it later, they need the stockpiles to do that, and they don't have stockpiles on hand. So it's always
All right.
been So you could
Nice.
see
There
a
could be
little bit of
trade
pop
there.
there.
All right.
Yeah. So we could
Pop in
see
uranium.
spot price run. And
Oh.
stuff like Cameco in the US, which is probably the best uranium stock listed in the US, is basically at all-time highs. And the UN, what is the URNM ETF, which I think it might be Global X as well, is the uranium miners ETF is poised for a breakout. So things are looking good for uranium and that's sort of story.
Okay. Well done.
No
Mate,
worries.
I've got a skedaddle.
No
I
worries.
can't believe I just said that. How old am I? NFL, you got a tip for us?
Let me find it. Yes, no, I do. I'm just
Steelers game starts in an hour.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Lions will beat the Colts.
Oh, that's actually my bet. Lions to cover the spread versus the Colts, which is 7.5. Paying $1.99. Book that. Lions have been on fire.
I'm with you as well. Lions go on. I mean, they'll dominate. That's NFC. What is it? The NFC North. That's done for them. They will go in as top of the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they make the Super Bowl. That'd be sensational. Such a great story. I'll tell you who's not going to. I mean, love to the Raiders and Derek and everyone who's listening out there. But I just it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for my boys.
Yeah.
Out there. What are you going to do? But anyway, so the Lions is what we're all eyes on them. Heath, mate, with nothing left, then I'm going to have to shift it.
I'm all done, mate.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. This has been the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. I am James Gant Whelan, and I've been joined by Heath Gazman Moss. Have yourself a safe and happy weekend, or I hope you are enjoying a safe and happy weekend, and may you mark well.
Have a good one. See you later.
Bye.